What's up, tea people? This is Denny.
And this is James from TeaDB, bringing you what we think is episode number 237.
Probably episode 237.
Yeah, what are we drinking today, Denny?
We have some super old Baozhong. So some old Oolongs, and look at this beautiful.
Yeah, it's
twisted leaves.
Looks very nice. There's no broken leaves in there.
I was gonna say, this quality-wise is incredible.
So this is supposedly some 1960s Baozhong.
Yeah.
So very old, older than us. This is kindly sent to us by Peter. So thank you, Peter. You are a champ. And my pot seems to be a little clogged.
Yeah.
So that's what we have these handy toothpick for.
Indeed. Yum, yum, yum.
And we will toss these leaves in.
So let's go over the standard stuff. That is a ton of leaf.
Yeah, so Baozhong's kind of fluffy, so it's a bit more.
Right.
It looks like a lot,
right.
But it's actually pretty standard. It's about 6.4 grams for 95 milliliter
right.
pot. So just warming up that vessel. We'll give this a quick rinse and then get going.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's pretty dark.
Yeah, it is.
Aging wise, maybe it does that, although.
And the older Baozhongs, I think, tended to be processed more like roasted.
Yeah. Yeah, not nearly as green.
Smells very earthy.
My goodness, it does. Yeah.
So it's some of these like younger old oolongs, like 30 years old, 20 years old, will have like a really rich, plummy fruitiness to it. This more in the earthy vein.
Yeah, I was gonna say sort of like it's kind of like non-sweetened wild peanuts or something. It has this like very nutty, not quite woody, but yeah, very earthy vibe. Gorgeous color off of the start there. And give her a sniff. Don't stick my nose too far in there, else I'll burn myself. That's a really interesting, almost seaweedy. Seaweedy sort of note in there too. Really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, very kind of not quite iodine, but just that sort of. I don't want to say oceanic, but yeah.
And this
interesting.
And this tea was originally acquired from Song Tea, who is actually in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So
nice.
You can check them out. I'm not sure what it costs for, but I'd imagine it's quite expensive.
Yeah, and given the quality too, it's having a tea from the 60s that's fluffy and all the leaves are intact requires literally a volume of space to store it in. And we take for granted the fact that there's some dude in the world who's just got an apartment full of tea that is not pu'er tea. Pu'er tea is easy to store.
Yeah.
Easier to store. Beautiful, beautiful color.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. This looks pretty warm.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It is quite warm. We're going to wait for that to cool down just a little bit. Get our next brew going.
Unlike many Baozhongs, this doesn't have the sweetness, the characteristic of that sort of like maybe a little bit of a sweeter, lighter flavor. Not that that's bad. I think it's more of a reflection of the age. And the liqueur isn't quite as yellow as the greener Baozhongs that I've had. It's much more of a deeper orange.
Yeah. Yeah, this obviously has very little in common other than just sharing a name with your green Baozhongs.
It tastes much more like a roasted oolong.
Yeah, and we're having this quite late. I don't know the story about the re-roasting, if this tea was re-roasted at all.
That plumminess does come through, and there is a wonderful light sweetness to this. So this, unlike maybe like a wooey oolong that doesn't. Ooh, there's a really nice residual sweetness. Doesn't really. It's almost like hinting at sweetness is the experience of sweetness in that tea. This does have that sweetness, but it's not nearly as striking or as saccharine as some of the younger, maybe green oolongs that we brought on the show.
Yeah. And you know what? I think for the third brew, I'm gonna try to push this a little bit, see what it's made of.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely in the earthy vein as well. I feel like those fruitier notes have been pushed away a little bit. There is a little bit of it, as Denny noted, but
yeah, it has that roasted. I would mistake this for a very delicious high mountain roasted oolong. Are you tasting the age much on this?
yes. I mean, it's very earthy,
right?
And I feel like some of that's been brought about by age. I don't know. It's not like. Does this taste roasty to you?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Not. It doesn't have that nuttiness though that you typically associate with a roasted oolong.
Yeah, if it was roasted, it was quite a while ago. Yeah. I would say. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring this tea out. It's not exactly as I expected.
Yeah, it has an interesting residual flavor. Definitely a strong brew. I think these parameters are great. And this will be the third steeping that James is doing right now.
Yeah.
Some fresh boiling water.
We'll let this go for 20 seconds or so.
Sounds good.
See what we can get.
Yeah.
I think the color should be at least a lot darker and hopefully get a richer and not too aggressive brew. These old oolongs, it's hard for them to get too nasty, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think if speaking to the age, I'm getting a little bit of that leatheriness, that sort of earthy, leathery vibe, maybe almost a little bit tobacco-y, but not in that sort of spicy tobacco sense, just more of a kind of those like aged leaves. Obviously, it's aged leaves.
Yeah. Well, I think leathery is actually right on, especially for this second steep that we're having now. Yeah. You can take a smell of that.
Texture, what do you think? Viscosity?
Moderate. Not terribly thick. So.
Yep. Wow. These leaves are incredible, too. I mean, really. And actually, they're looking a little bit more green now in the cup. It's kind of hard to see. Really good. This is one of those drinks that feels more like it's an elixir.
Yeah.
Like I'm in Lord of the Rings or something.
And I'd say pretty clean overall. I'm not getting much nastiness at all from this.
Yeah, I think that peanut vibe might have just been from the storage a little bit. Because I'm not getting any of that now from the smell or the taste at all. So... This is pleasant, a little challenging, which is always fun.
Very smooth too.
Yeah.
Very easy to drink.
We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. It color-wise, it doesn't look insane.
No, it looks a little bit deeper. Just to piggyback on what James had said earlier, though, texturally speaking, I think this errs on the side of sort of medium, maybe even a little bit veering towards light. And it's pleasant. It's not too viscous. You're not caught up too much with the texture of the tea. You're caught up more with the flavors. So for a tea like this that's aged, I think that's nice.
Yeah. And how would this do in the illustrious mom test?
The legendary mom test.
I'm curious what you'll say here because I have no idea.
I don't know either, to be honest with you. Because these flavors aren't the most straightforward and appealing.
Yeah.
But they're not harsh in any way. Like you said, they're smooth. So I think people could find this to be... This is kind of maybe a mixed bag tea. Maybe some folks are going to find these flavors to be enjoyable. It's not going to off-put someone, but they might not resonate as much. They might be like, oh, this is so delicious. This is one of those teas that, again, it's challenging in that way, which makes it fun.
Yeah, and it would be very unique, I think, for just about anyone, even a lot of tea drinkers. It's not every day that...
Wow, this really handled the heat and the time well.
I think longevity-wise, this is not going to do terribly well. Just judging from how fast it's... the color is not like a dark brown or something like that. But it's quite tasty for the brews that we're getting.
I'm getting a little more of that woodiness off of these brews. I think the leatheriness is still there. I'm tasting now, not experiencing the mouth pucker, but just the strength of that, the longer brew there.
Yeah, it improved the viscosity. There's still no bite to the tea, so I'd say go ahead and brew this for a while.
Go
Yeah.
Go ape shit.
The leaves, as Denny has talked about, are really gorgeous. Just great leaf integrity for an old tea. Especially considering this isn't rolled or anything, which kind of helps to protect those leaves.
Exactly, yeah.
These are fragile Baozhong leaves. So.
Yeah, that are old. So this has been stored quite well. And, yeah, really tasty. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, not to misrepresent this tea, it definitely feels in the oolong category. Put it more in the roasted than in the green. Get those notes of the age, but it's not. Sometimes there's this sort of like vacuum flavor. It's like a kind of a dulling a little bit that I've talked about on the show. I'm not getting that on this. There's plenty of body in this tea, lots of longevity, lots of interesting notes. Not as much of those high crisp notes, but that's to be expected with a tea that's been aged like this.
I think this would be a very good reference tea for anyone that's just curious to try these older teas. It's very clean. It has significant age taste. It's very earthy. It's extremely different from probably things that most people have tried. It's very different from modern Baozhong, so try it out. Yeah.
I think you're right. This tea probably won't last forever.
Yeah.
That's not a fault of the tea. It's just how it goes.
Yep.
Delicious. Folks who do want to pick this up,
you can go check out Song Tea at songtea.com, as well as if you are in the Bay Area, they have a San Francisco storefront, so you could go there and try some of their teas down there, pick up some stuff. They're known to be more of a boutique-y premium sort of vendor, so they have teas such as this one, which you could pick up a very small quantity. Probably costs quite a bit per gram, but it's probably worth it as far as like a reference, especially if you're just curious.
Yeah.
And where can someone find out more just about tea?
Check us out on TeaDB.org. That's TeaDB.org. Subscribe to all the things down below in the red thing. Click it. Damn it. Bring your mom to the channel. Have her PayPal us. We don't have a PayPal.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram. If you do want to get in touch and send us teas or get in touch about what we're up to, you can email us to tdborg@gmail.com.
Yep.
And I think that covers most of our bases. Follow along. Comment down below if you think that your mom would actually really like this tea, and let us know about that.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.